cutscene. I don't think there is a start cutscene. I think where you start is the start cutscene. There is no ending cutscene. When I went through Glimmer, there was nothing that involved them. But if you go through the level again, you will see an ending cutscene, which I will be showing on this because obviously I'm going to go back and do that. First, I'm going to go get this. You're not going to see it
like to learn to swim underwater?
until when I come back, but for the
no,
after I get
small
the climbing ability. Yep, you can have that.
Great. Okay.
So
when you jump in the water, you can use your left stick to move around the surface. Use the charge button to dive underwater. When you're underwater, use the jump button to paddle and charge button to charge.
okay, so and actually it'll be a treat for me too because I haven't watched the ending cutscene in a while because I usually glitch that out. I don't even think when I played this I watched the cutscene. I think I was able to get everything in the first go because I did the double jump glitch to get up on the ledge, which is another thing in itself. It's a pain in the ass, but with practice you can do it. I am not very good at this game, or not good enough to do the double jump glitch perfectly every time. I could probably do it if I remembered how to. I cannot. So that's why I did not clear Glimmer, because I didn't remember how to do that, and I can't be bothered spending 10 million years learning. Now, just one thing to mention in the original. I think Allura was glitched in the original, at least on my copy that I remember. Well, I don't know if that was all copies, or if it was just a Gateway Glimmer 2 issue, or something. Every time you come past here, she'd start talking to you and tell you the exact same thing. It's a good thing that they fixed that, because that was a real annoying thing, especially since you had to come through here at least one more time. Two, if you didn't glitch up on the ladder. You do have to come back here if you want 100%, because you need to go down here, because not only are there gems, when you're underwater, you don't blow flames, you blow bubbles. Unless you have super flame, which is another power up, and we'll get to that when we get to that. Which actually won't be for actually not too long, I suppose. Yeah, because the next level we'll be doing is Idle Springs, and that's not in there. That's in the first level you can get super flame in would be Sunny Beach. We'll get to that when we get to that. There's an orb. I don't think there's any more gems. I think they're all down this way. Oh, I missed these two. Oh, I didn't miss these two. I just walked past them because I went straight into the front. I didn't want to go around the back. I'm gonna go into, before I go underwater, I'm gonna go do this level, Idle Springs. And here we go. And I'm just gonna watch the cutscene when he loads in.
Spyro! The idols we were carving have come to life! They've locked us out of our temples and stolen our food!
Alright. Okay, so that guy's gonna go unlock the door. The thing of this one, each level has a, I want to say gimmick. This one you gotta say rescue the guys from the idols, and then they'll open doors for you. We could follow him through, but don't want to do that just yet. I'm going to go down here and get all the gems first, obviously, and then I'm going to go into that tunnel right there. And you'll see why in a minute. Because you could come back to this, but it's a lot faster if you do it now. Because if you come back to it, you'll just end up going back through the level anyway. So it's easier if you just do it all in one shot. I mean, it does when you finish it. It does take you back to the start of the level, but there's it's a bunch of puzzle mini games that you have to get an orb. The first one is we have to. I'll let this guy explain. We've got to turn all these on.
I've been locked in here with all our tools, and the giant idol heads won't let the workers in unless we can solve the 3 puzzles they've given us. The first puzzle is to turn all these blocks yellow. If you have trouble, come back and talk to me.
Okay. So, first glance, you'd think it's difficult, but it's really not. It's super simple. It's just jump on the corners. There, that's done.
Wow, Spyro, you did it!
I don't mean to be patronizing about that one, but I really had trouble with that one as a kid. I would always spend like 5-10 minutes on this one. It's actually, what you gotta remember is yellow corners, and then you're good. Alright, now the second puzzle. So it's not a puzzle. Oh, it is. It's just a timing. I believe it's just a time thing. Yeah. And apparently this guy has teleporting powers. He's over here.
This idol says he's hungry and won't be satisfied until he's swallowed 10 fish. He's got a sensitive stomach. So
this
watch
one,
what kind of fish you feed him.
it's not that it's not it's slow. It's not that it's fast either because you could be sitting here for ages and it's don't shoot the red fish. If you shoot the red fish, he throws up all the other fish you put into him. Not all of them, but a bunch of them, and it can be really annoying. The problem with this one is sometimes it'll just go red fish, and it just gets really annoying. See, you don't want to go that one, and you can't tell which one's blue one, yellow one, you can go in, I won't win it. This was a really bad angle on the original because you couldn't bring the camera this close. It's a lot easier on this one.
Just one more puzzle to go. I'll meet you over
because
by the colored
the
stones
original
for your
one
final
you only
challenge.
had a camera that only went left and right. You couldn't do up and down unless you used the review button. Like just say you could do maybe the angles like this, and you could probably do this and this. And I believe I can't remember, but I believe the mini game locked it, so you could only go so far left and so far right. This one you have full control of the camera. So you can look down, swivel, and you don't even have to look at the idol. You just have to make sure you're aiming at him and then adjust the camera. And I never noticed this. I'm pretty sure his eyes lit up. I think I just noticed that now. I think his eye, the torches weren't on before, and then when you feed him the 10 fish, I think they turn on. So I never noticed that. I don't think that was in the original. I might be mistaken. If anyone remembers that, let me know, because I had never noticed that before. I didn't notice that my first run through this. To be fair, I've only played the Reignited Trilogy once. I have played through the original countless times. I'm pretty sure they weren't. There was no torches in there because I don't think the engine could handle that. I mean, I think they were just using a repurposed Spyro 1 engine. They just they just made some changes. She's going to tell me about metal. As I was saying earlier, some enemies you can't flame. So you can't charge big enemies. You can't flame metal enemies. So actually, fun fact: some metal enemies, if they're only using shields, you can actually, if you're quick enough, you can sneak up behind them. These ones, they just constantly track you, so you cannot do that. Alright, I believe if I take that, I get full health as well. Yes, getting those lives gives you full health. Yeah, those two. Yeah, so, as I was saying earlier, premises level. You might be like, oh, where's the orb? I've still got one more puzzle to do. And the thing is, I gotta go there. Yeah, I gotta go save these guys. To get him. To go get the puzzle. I mean, I'll probably do the puzzle as soon as I see it because I'll get teleported back to the start of the level anyway. But, actually, I might go do the firework first. There's a firework, and I don't know if you noticed, there's a pillar in the middle of the lake. And on that pillar is a, firework chest. So I'm gonna fire
camera left or right, use the right stick.
As she was saying, yeah. So, in the original one, on PlayStation 1, yeah, you use the, I think it was the R1 and L1? It might have been, I'm pretty sure it was. I think, Spyro 1 at
You
least.
jump on these
'cause,
stones in the
I
correct
can't remember
order,
which
you will
one it was.
solve the puzzle. I only know what the first one is. It's up to you to figure the rest out.
Alright. Okay, so that one, start. So it's probably going to be this one. Alright. Now, hexagon. Hexagon? No? Was it circle? Oh shit, what was it? Green. Was it me?
Let's
No. Okay. Oh shit. Oh, it's over there. Yeah. So, it's, orange. Yeah, I was.
nice
They had
job,
another brain.
Spyro. You're pretty smart for a
Right,
dragon.
not working.
All I have to give you is this shiny thing I found in our toolbox.
Sorry, I was just checking my cat was still alive. Well, she's dead. Oh shit, I forgot to do with the fireworks. Oh well, I think the fireworks I can jump down anyway, so not that it really matters. Yeah, it's pretty simple, just match the shape or the colour, but I think it's the shape first. And then the colour's the last one, and then it's yeah, just blue at the lid because nothing matches the, I think it's triangle or something. Yeah, it's a bit annoying sometimes, especially if you're not paying attention. Because yeah, I've forgotten that puzzle, as you've seen. I've forgotten how that puzzle works heaps. So I wasn't paying attention the first time around, and then I was like, oh yeah, everything matches, everything goes with everything. So yeah. So that one would go first, because it would have been this one and then that one. And then wait. Yeah, and then it would have been no, I can't remember. No, because it was this one, that one, I think. Or was it this one, that one? No, it was this one, that one, and that. I can't remember what I was doing. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the footage back and yeah, I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot. That is the last door in this level. I can go talk to that guy, but I really don't want to. I think the rocket's up here. I don't think. I really don't want to talk to him because it's just a long yeah, there's a so you can see I got the blah, 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 I got the swimming ability then with this level, not with this level, but the swimming ability, otherwise I would have to come back. And there's already enough backtracking in this game that I don't need to extend it. Same goes for a bunch of other levels. there is a level on the second world that I'm not going to finish. I can, but I'll have to come back anyway, so I'm not even going to, like, there's a 2-part quest in a level. Those who have played this before will know which one I'm talking about. I'm going to go back to that level after I get the final ability, because it just makes it easy. You just complete that way faster and it's less stress. Because that mission, anyone who plays it knows exactly which one I'm talking about. It is one of the most dumbest missions in the game, especially since if you complete it the first time, that's fine, but there's a second part to it. I'll tell you when I get to it, but there's a second part to it, and if you don't do everything in one part, which you can't do the second part until you got the ability anyway. What was I saying? The second part. Yeah, if you don't have the ability when you can get the second part and you leave the level, and you want to do the go back to the level and do the second part, you have to do the first part again, which is just stupid on itself. It's not terrible, but it just drives you nuts. So what you can do is you can actually yeah, go back to the level and do it again. Because there's no point doing the first part twice if you have to, like, there's no point doing it in the first place, considering you have to do it again anyway, and it's not like you gain anything extra from it. Like, you don't have to complete the first part to finish the level anyway. You just can go back and do it. I'll point it out when I get there, for anyone paying attention. There's a bunch of gems down this way. I almost finished the level. Yeah, got the last thing. Shit. Forgot about the hover again. I always forget about the hover. I was talking about this earlier. Except I was talking about how there's no hover in the first game and people might mess up. And now I'm just like, I just don't want to drop. I've been playing the first one for 4 hours straight, so yeah. Alright. Okay, now this is another power-up. What this one does is, I'll show you, it is a supercharge. Now, you remember that if you're watching the first one, or played the first one, and you haven't played, for some reason, 2 or 3, or 2, you might remember that these were static objects.
Look
when you
at
grab,
that!
they were just
The
part of
hula
the
girl's
scene
ring dance blew
on
up that idol
the
like
ground.
a Roman
They just,
candle.
ran.
Now I can pursue that dancing career I've dreamed of.
No, in this game, they can be on flat terrain in the gates, because they made all the power-ups in this game through gates. I am going to explain each one, even though this game is probably popular enough that everyone's played it, and if you haven't played it, where have you been? You can talk to her before you start this and just get some extra dialogue, but yeah, I kind of forgot to, so it doesn't really matter too much. It's fine if you miss out on dialogue. Play the game. I just recommend playing the games yourself. You can watch this if you want. Not really too fast, but I'm listening back to my audio and it sounds terrible. But whoop, I didn't want to do this. Yeah, the original game, like the original Spyro 2. Yeah, the games had better animations. Like these just look like they were thrown together, which I'm not a huge fan of. So we've seen the flight one in the original. In the original one, that was just that had flapping wings. When we're seeing the spring jump in the original, obviously that had a spring. That's by the name of it. And for the supercharged in the original Spyro 2, it had a spinning wheel. And I believe... What have we got? Like 2 more, I think? I'm trying to think. I think there's 2 or 3 more. I think there's only 2 more to go. Yeah. We're not going to get to one of them until the last one because it's a specific gate for only that level. And I'll mention it now. It's just free display. You can turn enemies into ice cubes and use them as steps. Which is just for one mission, and you'll see where it's in the third world. It's the third realm. No, the fourth realm. Sorry. Yeah, because there's four? No, there's 3. Is there? Yeah, there was only 3 in this one. Sorry. Yeah. Even though this one's called Summer Forest, there is autumn and winter, but there was no spring, and I don't think there was ever meant to be one. People have theorized that there has been one, and people have actually made their own game about it, which was called, I don't know if it's still in development by fans. It is called Spring Savannah, if you want to check that out. I don't know if they I don't know if they're still working on it, or if they finished it, or if it's been shut down by obviously Activision or anything, because I know they did that with Mortar's Mayhem, I'm pretty sure, which kind of sucks because that looked like it was going to be an interesting game. I think it was Mortar's Mayhem, or it might have been another Spyro game, Spyro fan game, but one of them had the Triforce there, but I mean not really, but it's just a triangle. But no, it's just gold and triangle. I haven't really played Zelda. Actually, if you want me to play that, I will sort out a way to get a copy of that. Depending on which one. If you want me to play Breath of the Wild, I'm not going to be able to play that for a while because Nintendo Switches. I do not have one. I want to get one. I do not own one. I will probably get one eventually, but at the moment, I'm looking forward to the Series X, the next gen consoles. I'm gonna go finish this level because I've been rambling enough.
Spyro, you're pretty tough. If you ever want a permanent job, we've got a place for you here. But for the moment, I want you to have this talisman.
Okay. Oh, sorry that. Literally, I just updated my laptop and it wants another update. Luckily, I'm not running off that because actually, user would be having a very, very bad time because that doesn't have GPU encoders and actually got a slower CPU than this computer, and the laptop is actually newer than my desktop, and I haven't upgraded this thing other than the SSD and the graphics card in 7 years. Alright, let's go home. Actually, one of the more wholesome endings for the level. Yeah, some of the endings of the levels can be real messed up, and then some of them can be really wholesome. You'll notice as we get there. You'll notice that there's a trend like that. It's like some can be just really messed up, like the last level we're in Colossus. Yeah, the monk killed his master, which is kind of yeah, and then he just ran off. And at the beginning, yeah, you notice they were sacrificing the goat to the Yeti, and then the ram to the Yeti, goat, same thing. Oh, not really. I'll just call it a goat because it looks more like a goat. I'm pretty sure it is rare. No, because I got whatever. Yeah, they were sacrificing a goat to the Yeti. The camera pans away, and then out comes the goat, and then pans back, and then out comes the goat, implying that the monk got eaten by the Yeti. Um, uh, Another scene that I liked on the original. If after this you want to go watch the original ones, just search up the Spyro 2 every level ending and start, and then or start and end cutscenes, and yeah, give them a look because some of them are really funny, and then some of them have been changed a bit. Like not all of them the exact same, but some of them are. But some of them are actually more shocking. Oh, not shocking. Funnier in the original than in this one. Like the scene in the start scene in the start and end scene in Colossus is actually funnier in the original than if I'm remembering it right. I'm pretty sure it is funnier. I mean, you have to deal with the old polygons, but it's worth it for doing
You're
that.
well on your way, Spyro. Keep collecting talismans to help us defeat Ripto before he can take over Avalar. Oh, and keep collecting those orbs too. The professor thinks they will help you get back to the Dragon World.
Okay. I'm not talking to you. Yeah, if you're wondering what he's gonna say, he's just like, oh, do you want passive camera or active camera? And we'll just ask if you want to change it. And I'm like, no. I'll talk to Laura though, she'll tell me about it.
I saw
There you
something
go.
shiny at the top of this wall. You could probably get it, but you'll have to learn how to climb first.
Note that she's putting climb in colorizing it. I mean, I could go do Sunny Beach or Haruko's. I could go do Sunny Beach, but I'm gonna make you wait. I'm gonna make you wait for that one. I mean, I have to do all the levels eventually, but I'll make you wait for that one because that and Aquaria Towers both have this. Sunny Beach and Aquaria Towers have both the sound power up, so it doesn't matter right now. And we've already seen the power up that's in Haruko's, so I'll make you wait. See that? I don't want to talk to you yet because that's the Speedway. I know in the first one, I did all the flight levels at the end of each world. I'm going to do all the Speedways in one go before I go to the bonus world. Because that way I'll at least have some fun. After I get frustrated, because I don't want to do all this for nothing. And I did that. Supposed to do that, and you go through here. And I remember to hover for once. Yeah, orb. So I got 10 orbs. I don't remember if anything in this world requires orbs yet. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it does. Not many bags. I'll talk to him in a minute. Let me get some more cash. I don't know, because he's going to want to distort me for everything I got.
Say, Spyro, you see this wall here? I
He'll
bet
get
you're
this in the end, he'll get
dying
this.
to know what's on the other side. If only I had a few more gems, I might be able to remember how to lower the wall.
Yeah, 400 gems. He asked for a little bit here and a little bit
The sparkling beauty
there.
of those gems seems to have jogged my memory.
Yeah, I wonder how that wall got there in the first place. I'm sure you didn't put it there. Yeah, just grabbing gems here. I'm not going to go into that level yet. I want to do that last before I go to the boss. Well, I've got to do it anyway at one point to get the talisman, because you need the talisman to I'll let Laura explain.
Hi, Spyro.
This talisman door will only open if you have all 6 Summer Forest talismans. Once the door is open, Ripto and Crush will be waiting in the dungeon.
Oh, I thought it was wrong. Okay. Yeah. So, the only levels I'll have to go back to are in this world, in this area, Sunny Beach, and Glimmer. Sorry, I just blanked out there for a second. Obviously I'll have to come back here and climb that ladder, but that's not really a big ass. That's not really as big a deal. Just going back to Glimmer. Sunny Beach, there's like one section you need ladder for as well. Haruko, she can do this all in one go. Can be difficult if you don't know how the mini game, how one of the mini games works, because it seems like it takes forever and ever, but there is a limited amount of enemies in it. Fun fact, I'll show it in a second, but,
We've always had trouble with the gear grinders, but now they've set up force fields to separate us. If you find diodes, you can use them to turn off the force fields. I think there's a diode around here somewhere, but my eyesight isn't what it used to be.
I don't remember if this is true. I'll have to look at, when one of this game was shown in credits. A lot of the voices for the characters, like the Electros and Spyro, and I'm pretty sure the Professor as well, yeah, they were actually done by Tom Kenny. So if you remember, if you play the original, you know who he is, obviously, because he was the one who played Spyro and Spyro 2. He also does Spyro and Spyro 1 in the original trilogy. He didn't originally do that. That was a different person entirely. That's why he's in the original PlayStation 1 release of the games. That's why Spyro sounds different between games. Some people think that he just matured, but no, it was completely different voice actor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is Tom Kenny. If you don't know who Tom Kenny is, he is the voice behind the actor behind SpongeBob and Ice King. So SpongeBob obviously from SpongeBob SquarePants and Ice King from Adventure Time. Another fun fact, original creators of this game, Insomniac, for those who don't know who they are, of course, I might be talking to a completely different generation than I am from, so I might be talking to someone like who's like really young. The Insomniac Games were also the people who were behind Ratchet and Clank, and for those who don't know, these, obviously, it hasn't been, I don't think it actually has been confirmed, but it's very heavily theorized that this was the inspiration for the original Ratchet and Clank designs. As I said, I can't 100% confirm that, but many other YouTubers play this game, and other people who play this game and who have played Ratchet and Clank. I have not played Ratchet and Clank. I played a little bit of the remake. I have not played any. I've played a little bit of the original back in the day. I never owned them. I never played them much. I think my cousin, she owned them, and I had a little bit to go. Yeah. Obviously you think it's the other way around, but actually no. I think it's they decided they like the designs of that, because obviously he's yellow, got a wrench, and blah blah blah, it has robots. Yeah, they do look, especially if you look at the original designs of the gear grinders and their robots. It does look like they're heavily inspired by it. I mean, they are the same company after all, and yeah, but unfortunately they don't only Insomniac doesn't own the license to Spyro anymore. That is owned by Activision, and this game was created by Toys for Bob. And actually, if you haven't actually delved into how they made this game, it's very, very interesting. So what they did, because they lost the source files years and years ago. What they did was they took the original games and they made a special program for it called Spyro Map. And what they did was they mapped out the environment and completely cloned it and modeled over it. So everything you see here, I know I'm talking like, when did this come out? I can't even remember. This came in 2018, I think. It's only a couple years old. This version. So you should probably know this by now. But if you don't, this is completely the exact same maps as the original. And for those who just bought the game and never thought about, never wondered how they did this, that is exactly how they did that. And it's what makes it so brilliant. Is you don't have to completely remodel the entire level and the entire world and all that. You just have to model, just redo the textures over the work that they've already done. Obviously the program itself would have taken a while to develop, but it made it so much easier to get everything just right, and every texture in the right spot, and every jump, and everything just feels great when you play this game. You've never, if you haven't watched how they did it, I'll have to find the video at one point. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but if you search it up on YouTube how they made the maps in Spyro Reignited Trilogy, they'll show it to you. I think Crash Punk has, no, not Crash Punk. Bloody, now I can't remember his name. Crystal Fisher. If you go watch his channel, I'm sorry, Crystal. He actually dives heavily into all these, and he goes into the fan games and everything. He's actually worth a good watch. I haven't watched him in a while, sorry about that. But search it up. It's Crystal Fisher, so CrystalFisure. Search him up on YouTube. He does a lot of Spyro videos, and I think he does a lot of Crushing videos and all that in different PlayStation 1 games. He is very into, he's got a lot of stuff on Spyro, but it's very, 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 very cool. Yeah, I'm going to stop rambling again. I don't usually ramble, which is important. But I'm going to go do these and finish this mission, because obviously if you're not interested in the way they make the game, it's interesting, but if you don't want to listen to it, you don't have to listen to it. Obviously, on YouTube, you can just skip forward. If you're watching me stream this, then you really have no choice either to put me on mute, or just listen, or just wait on it, to be honest. I just find it fascinating the way they made this. It really was a great feat of now I can't remember the word. Just feat of design, because if they had to do this all again by hand, they would have never got it right. But doing it the way they did, because they obviously, as I said, they didn't have access to the source files, because they might be out there somewhere, but it would have taken a very, very long time to track them down to see if they were. Because that was back in the day when you'd just kind of lose shit, and really no one gave a crap, because sure, you're not going to need them once they're done, so why keep them around? So it's back in the day, like, it's not so bad as when you did like old television programming where they lost shit all the time, like they deleted got rid of shit all the time because they wouldn't have enough room to store it on tapes. So that's like where, if you want a bunch of the old Doctor Who episodes, like the original classic series, you're not going to find them anywhere unless someone has taped them years before they were tape recorded, because that came out. I don't remember when the tape, maybe old, not that old, but I don't know when VHS recorders came available. Any way to think? I think it was like the late 70s, early 80s, and a lot of those came before that. And yeah, people weren't very good at archiving things back then, unless you count books. Books are probably one of the smaller things you're not going to be able to get rid of. Let's find that guy. But in the video game world, it's only recently become aware, people have only becoming recently aware that it's probably a good idea to keep a copy of the source files at least somewhere safe, at least one copy, because if you kind of lose that, especially in this day and age, if you need to, I don't know, update a game or fix a bug, and you don't have the source files and you want to just go back and do it, you're not going to be able to do it. Like if you want to remaster a game again, or better, I don't know. Looking at you, Skyrim, I think there's enough. If I see one next generation, I'm not going to be very pleased. Come on, Bethesda, you're better than that. You were better than that, obviously. Alright, so this is the puzzle I was talking about earlier. It's not difficult, it's just time consuming because you're just going to keep putting these things back, and the gear grinders are just going to keep, well, the thieves, they're not gear grinders, they're just the orb thieves, they're just going to keep stealing them off you. So you just got to go spit them back and then just flame them, and I don't think they can run away. They can't, you can't lose the orbs permanently, so you just have to flame them and to get them back. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, place them back. See, the problem is, yeah, 5 more, but you don't know where they're going to spawn. I think if you talk to the guy first, you get an alarm. I don't know if I can't remember if you can in this, if you get an alarm in this one, but you get like a klaxon sound in the original. It's like wah, wah, and while it may be annoying, it's actually a really cool sound. I don't know if they had it in this one. It's like, oh wait, no, it wasn't a rant rant. It was like a woo woo, but just like a really loud sounding thing. We've got 3 more to kill. So just keep placing them back, and you're charging the tower up to get more power. I don't know. I don't really pay that much attention to the thing anymore. I know you're doing this to get power so they can power their machines, and these guys are stealing them. I don't know if I think the guy basically said, oh, they like to steal them because they're dicks and they just don't like it being, they just don't like us having power. Yeah. Again, if you want to find out about this, how they made this, it's actually really cool. And if you delve even deeper, you'll find out how they made the first game possible, because it's actually really interesting. When you think about it, you might think it's rendering everything, but back then they didn't have a lot of power to do that. You're talking very, very little bits of power. I don't even think there was like a full mega RAM or something. I'll have to bring up the PlayStation 1 specs. What was I saying? They didn't really have much VRAM or anything to work with. And they were very super ambitious on this project. So you could imagine back then, 1998, on a what gen would that be? 6th gen? 5th gen? What are we on? 8th? We're on 8th gen right now. We're not on 9th gen yet. I think if you're on Switch, technically you're on 9th gen. I think. Back in the day, this was completely shocking to see, because the way they did it, what they did, instead of rendering everything in the distance, they made a specific thing for the, I'm just kidding, probably can't steal my shit, there's just all right there, son of a bitch. What they did, instead of rendering the gems fully in the distance, what they did was they just rendered the speck, like the little glint. So in the distance, you're not seeing it shiny. It's not shiny. It's actually just rendering a tiny little white light in the distance, and that is always present in that gem. And as you go through,
Thank you,
and
Spyro.
so each gem will have that glint, and it is the only thing on the gem.
Please, take it as a reward.
The only thing on the gem that is actually visible from any distance you see across the map. And these maps were pretty big for the time. You're talking a whole level already loaded in, all enemies, nothing pops in. Everything is basically rendered as it is. If you play it on the PlayStation 1, you'll notice it popping in. Like, the enemies will pop in, but they're already coded in there. The only thing you will see is the glint on the gems from the distance. That's what I think is really cool. So it was really, really, really easy to see where the gem is that you missed, unless it was hidden behind something that you had to go around. Like in Cliff Town, if you have to go behind the entrance to get the last couple of gems there if you missed them. But other than that, there's really not any more places that you could not see where those gems were. I've got to actually just check it. I don't think there's any gems in here. Yeah, there's not. I don't think it, I think there were. I just got them all. I think I can't remember. I'm just rambling. I don't usually talk as much. So, yeah. Destroy these windmills here, the little ones. I don't know if the big ones count as well. If you destroy the little ones, I think, yeah, if you destroy just the little ones. I don't know what the big ones are. I know it's just the little ones that you can. You'll get another skill point, which means another life. Actually, I just need to do something real quick. I need to find out what button is, the menu. It doesn't have one. Okay. Yeah, the original games they had like a little, you just press a button and then you'll be able to see the thing, I think. Like, you'd be able to see how many kills you count. Unless I'm just thinking of Crash. It might just be Crash there. That's you just press Y. Or triangle. Yeah. Alright, so you've already seen this one. You've already seen this power up before. To get everything that we do need to use power up. That is not a ladder, by the way. Don't find that. That's electric. Actually, it's not actually electric in the game, but I'd imagine in real life, if you were in this level, you wouldn't want to climb it because it doesn't like that a lot. Alright, I really need to get some help because I suppose these aren't real. I mean, there's no really more enemies in that one, but I just like seeing sparks of gold. I don't like seeing sand ring. Seems like really sickly in this one. I mean, in the last one he didn't really have. He just had like little eyes, and that's about it. He didn't have like an animated face or anything in the original games. So he was, later games, but not these, not the originals. These. I think I'm basically done here. I just need to grab. Definitely need to grab this. I'm missing. Alright. Now, we're gonna go back to that power gate we passed earlier. We've got way more than enough enemies now. Yeah, red light, because that'll be useful health as well. As I said, I think that was the last enemy back there. Yeah, supercharge again. So, what you want to do is you just want to go through these like this. And you also use it to go through those chests. So, just like this. And, so each one of these buttons slows down a fan. So, obviously, there, the button slowed down that one. I don't know if it's possible to actually do this while the fans are spinning faster. If it is possible and you play this, let me know. I've never really seen it. But I don't think it is. Not too difficult. There's just two more. So I only need to grab that one and that one. You just got to do a hard right here. It's sometimes a pain in the ass. Sometimes it works. Did I ever do? Oh yeah, I did. Okay. So this one's pretty. I was gonna say this one's pretty easy, but obviously me streaming for what, 10 hours, 10 and a half hours, it's not great. Plus I've been awake for like 8 hours before that. Yeah, just that. You do have to do all 4 of them, all 4 of the windmills, because the only way to get up there is through that. I believe there is a way to glitch up there. I'm not going to do it because I don't even remember if that's real or not. I don't even know if it's in this game either. If it is, I'm sure someone will point it out. But I'm just going to do this. It's not that hard. The original was a lot more difficult because...
Spyro, do you see that big building over there? The gear grinders are using it to steal our electricity. Please help us by shutting down the machinery inside.
Okay. Actually, this is a 2-part quest. The only way you can tell that is that there's 2 gems here. So you might think, oh, this is one quest. There's actually 2 parts to it. So there's just glide to here. See, you could just do one and stop here, and like stop at the part up here. But you really don't want to do that since you come in this way anyway. These ones don't move, by the way. So this guy will give you the first ball.
Spyro, you have done well so far. You could have this little trinket for good luck. If you have any questions about shutting down the factory, just ask me.
Okay. I don't know if he has another...
The next glides get tricky. You'll have to use your hover maneuver to make them. Press the action button during a glide to hover and get extra height. Remember to press the action.
Okay, yeah. It says 5 stars, it's not that hard. It's just, you gotta time it well. And usually I don't, so I am gonna fall at least once. And if I don't, I'll be surprised. As you may have noticed right there, that guy's voice. It was really, really high pitched. It might sound like someone you might know. So yeah, that was actually very close to a SpongeBob voice. So, I mean, technically he could do the SpongeBob voice and not get copyrighted for it because it is his voice, and you can do whatever voice with your voice in a game or movie or whatever, or show that you want. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that is Tom Kenny doing those. I can't remember if he, as I said before, I killed a little bit of business, so there's this cool boy. I can't remember if he did the voices in this as well. I am 90% sure I did, and I died. Not 100% sure on that, but pretty sure it was. I'll have to check. Sure, I'll definitely check the credits, but I am pretty sure he came back and did those voices as well. Because I mean, it's Tom Kenny. Why wouldn't he? Yeah, he's gonna just keep telling you to do that if you die. So don't be like me and don't fall into the water. I'm running on like no sleep right now, so it's gonna be difficult, and I have a whole other game after this one too, so I just hope I get done before the end does, and I just hope the honestly, I just hope the video file comes out okay, because if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to download the entire VOD, and it's gonna be massive. See, it's only if you die that he talks to you again. If you fall down, that's fine, but don't die like I did, because that's just embarrassing. I don't think I've ever actually died on this bit, and that's the first time ever. I probably died when I was like little, when I played this when I was like, when did this come out? 1999. Shit, how old would I have been? I would have been, yeah, 7. I would have been 7 when this came out, when I got this. I think I got this, I'm pretty sure I got this release year. I didn't get it for a birthday or anything. My dad just told me to look under my pillow, and then there was Spyro. So, yeah, I enjoyed that.
Spyro, help! The switch to turn off the gear grinder factory is in that room.
I'm actually trying to remember. I cannot remember.
It's awfully noisy in there.
I cannot remember if I got PlayStation or my motorbike first, because it's been a long time. There's a lot of things I remember, and there's a lot of things I don't of my childhood. Like I can tell you exactly what happened when my I can tell you exactly how I've crashed the bike multiple times. Like first time I crashed into a fence because it was my first time riding. Second time I crashed into the boat we had in the backyard because my cousin was being a bitch. Oh, I suppose she was younger than me at the time, but she did run out in front of me, and I had to swerve to not hit her, and I ended up running over her foot and crashing into the boat. And I was wearing shorts at the time, so I ended up getting second-degree burns on my leg. I think second degree. It was either it wasn't like the worst burns, but I did have to have bandages all up the leg. I was trying to think where was there up there. There was one where we were at the motorcycle track out in the bush, and I went out in the bush area. Oh, the talisman, and we've got 30 more. Where are the last ones? Where's the last gems? Okay. Oh wait, no, they're in the last area. Oh, cool. Yeah, and I got it stuck in a rut. It was a Pee-wee 50. So it was a little 50cc little dirt bike for kids, and I got it stuck, and I didn't get hurt from that. It was just stuck, and I couldn't get it out. What's the? Oh, I lost the thing again. Oh, I forget the thing again. Yeah, and so I went back and looked for my dad. And I knew where to go back, but I kind of forgot where I was going from the bike, so I lost the bike. I didn't know where it was. Luckily, some other riders went out. Some other riders obviously found it abandoned there. So,
Spyro, you've deactivated all of the electric barriers. We've been guarding this talisman from the
so I almost lost a motorbike that way.
Take it as
That was fun. Little 6-year-old me. I think I would have been 6 at that time, maybe 7. No older than that. Oh shit, did I grab all the... Oh shit. I forgot to check. But yeah, those were fun times.